Hi everyone, my name's Callum-Morrison and I'm a guitar teacher from Edinburgh. I've been playing music with bands both in studios and on stages for many years. I've played with large six-piece bands and small acoustic bands, doing various different genres of music from indie right through to heavy metal. With the outbreak of COVID-19, a lot of people are going to be finding themselves indoors without a lot to do. It's going to be a really difficult time for people coming up in the future. I'm also aware that a lot of people have guitars in their house, but for one reason or another, like other commitments, just simply not having the time, or maybe just a lack of confidence, they've never really picked up the guitar and engaged much in it. With these videos, what I'm hoping to do isn't to turn you into Steve Vai, but hopefully I can lay some foundations for you and point you in the right direction of like certain resources on the internet that are maybe going to be useful to you in order to learn some guitar basics and also develop further as a musician. I'm going to start off right at the beginning, ground zero, you know, taking you through what the different parts of the instruments are, and from there we'll look at building up some chords, learning about how to read chord charts. A lot of this stuff is going to be focused on the acoustic guitar because that tends to be what people have sitting around. But I will do some videos with an electric guitar as well. This video isn't really going to comprise of much. I'm going to show you like the parts of a guitar. I'll show you how to sit down and hold it, and I'll show you how a tuner works and how you can get one on your phone. So let's get started. So the guitar is made up of a few parts. The first part that we'll talk about here is the body. The body houses the bridge, which is where the strings go through. Traditionally, on an acoustic guitar, there will be pegs in here, and in order to put the string in, you would take the peg out, you would feed the string through, and then hold it in place with the peg. You would also traditionally have a sound hole here. This guitar, as you'll see, has sound holes around the side rather than directly underneath the strings. This is largely a decorative decision, but it does affect the sound of the guitar. That's not something you need to worry about right now, but it's definitely something to be aware of going forward. Next, we come to the neck. As you can see, the neck has these like metal bars running across it. They're called frets. The main purpose of those is that when you apply pressure behind one of them, it will affect the pitch of the string. So as you can hear now, we've got an open E. And then if I apply some pressure behind the first fret, we have an F. So, and each fret has its own corresponding pitch. You'll notice the dots on here, they're decorative, but they do serve a purpose. Generally speaking, if a guitar has dots on its neck, they will always be in these positions. You might see one added to the first fret. They call these inlays, and the purpose of them is to serve as a point of reference and marker for while you're moving around the guitar. So you'll always find one on the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 12th fret, 15th fret, and 17th fret. It will continue to go higher, but this is all that's on this guitar. On the top of the neck, not sure if the camera will pick this up very well, but you can see that there are dots on the top of the neck which correspond with where they would be on the fretboard of the neck. Then finally there's the headstock, which houses the machine heads. Sometimes they're called tuning pegs, sometimes they're simply called tuners, and these are what you twist and turn in order to get your guitar in tune. Dead simple. Okay, so you're going to want to know how to use a tuner because your guitar is going to sound dreadful otherwise. Tuners are incredibly simple but incredibly important parts of the guitar world. So let's look at how you use one. I've got one here that you plug into. So as you can see, the arrow over here means that the note is too low. And we actually want this to be an E. So what we do is we keep on tuning it up. You'll see that it's that the bar is now moved to the other side. And we want it to be in the center. So now that that's at the center, that's the E in tune. Now let's move on to the next string, which should be an A. Now that it's at that green point in the center, that's in tune. The D string next. There we go. The ever comical G string. There we are. Now the B. And now the E. It's worth pointing out that while E, A, D, G, B, E is the standard, it's not the only tuning in the guitar world. So in later videos I may talk about things like drop D or open C. I imagine that if I get to the point where I'm talking about those sorts of things, this whole YouTube thing will have kicked off in a far more successful way than I've intended it to. But for now, it's worth knowing that that is the standard tuning, although there are other tunings. But now, our guitar's in tune. Now, finally, I want to talk about how you hold a guitar, which is something that throws a lot of people off at the start because a lot of people might be left-handed and want to hold the guitar the other way around. Which for those people, there are left-handed guitars. However, ultimately, it's going to be difficult to learn no matter which way around you're holding the guitar to begin with. And if you do learn with a left-handed guitar, you're going to be limited for options on guitars to buy in the future, and generally speaking, those guitars are going to cost you more money for no good reason. So it's just something to bear in mind. So when you are holding the guitar, you want to make sure that the thickest string, which is playing the lowest note, is closest to your face. And that the highest one is the closest to your leg. This way you're going to have the orientation of the strings the right way around. That's not to say that there aren't exceptions to the rules. Jimi Hendrix, one of the greatest guitar players of all time, played his guitar with the higher strings at the top and the lower strings at the bottom. So that's not to say that it can't be done, but if ultimately that is the route that you decide to go down, I'm not saying there won't be any helpful information there, but it's going to be very, very hard for anyone to kind of help you on that. That's going to be something that you're going to have to learn by yourself and develop by yourself. If you do ultimately choose to do that, I wish you luck. That's all for now. Hopefully I'll get another video up soon. I'm not sure how regularly I'm going to be doing this. I want to try and do at least one a week. I'm going to try and dedicate myself to doing more than that, and we'll just see how it goes. Hopefully, if you're stuck in isolation, this is something that can at least keep you entertained, stop you from pulling your hair out and getting bored. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. If there's anything that you would particularly like to learn, I can maybe try and use some of that information to kind of direct the content a bit more to what people are wanting to watch. So cheers, I'll see you next time.